Lockdown 1 was very, very boring for us all. Make no mistake about it. We had to do things we'd never done before. Working from home, schooling from home, shopping from home. It was very, very bizarre, and sadly we're still in the same state today. But you know, it's one of the things you really just got to get on with it in a way. So wear your masks, sanitize, blah, blah, blah. Luckily though, while we're at home, there are many things we can do to keep us entertained, like building things, Lego, or maybe even a real car. I don't know. I decided that, you know what, to keep me entertained, I should buy something for me to build. And I decided it should be a VW campervan, a T1 split screen VW campervan in yellow. And I would build it from scratch. However, I wanted it to be electric. Yes, an EV VW campervan. In this video, we're going to be racing it about, drifting it about. I've come to my local forest. It's a lovely day. Still very snowy in the UK. Yeah, it's good and bad, but oh well. And it's just starting to rain now. Great, that's just the joys of YouTube. In this video, we're going to be drifting it, driving it, and talking a bit about the build. I'm actually standing right in front of it. There it is. You didn't think it was a real one, did you? This is a 1:10 scale Tamiya RC VW campervan, and it is amazing. The build was fun, it's fun to drive. Tamiya is just value for money at its finest. Let's take a closer look. So here it is. It's looking fantastic, if not a bit wet, because I've just had to pause for about 5 minutes because there was a massive hailstorm. I'm now frozen, camera's probably frozen. I can't actually feel what I'm doing with my fingers, it's that bad. But oh well, we carry on. Here it is in yellow, Tamiya Yellow. I'm not sure the exact colour, it's just yellow to me, it's yellow. There's a reason it's yellow, however, because my friend Matthew, I have a YouTube channel with him called All Things Auto, go check it out. He actually has, him and his dad, a original VW campervan in this colour, in Porsche yellow to be exact. So I wanted to make a replica, just 1:10 scale, obviously, it's in my hands now. And yeah, that was my aim, to make it look like theirs. And I will put a picture in probably later on of that exact campervan compared to this. But yeah, here it is, it's amazing. The body, my dad actually did, because you know, I'm too incompetent for stuff like that. Very complex, a lot of stickers, masking windows, putting badges on, lights on. It is a lot of work. I think it took him about 2 or 3 days to do the body, but it's come out absolutely amazingly. If I take the pins off, we can have a closer look at the chassis. So I'm trying to take the pins off and not lose them, because that wouldn't be very good, would it? So I'm going to put it in my pocket, which actually has a lot of poo bags in. It's probably not a good idea to put it in there, because I'll forget where they are. Do you know what? Because my fingers are so cold, I actually can't feel what I'm doing. So that's not very good. Oh, YouTube. There's always a funny ball game, isn't it? Anyway, nearly there. There we go. 4 pins, and there we go. The body can come off. Here it is. This body, this chassis, sorry, took me, I would say, 2 or 3 weeks to build. I did it roughly every day, maybe every 2 days. One day I even spent about 9 hours doing it because I was that obsessed with it. But here it is. You can see rear motored, rear drive, steering servo, ACOMs, everything really. A lot of Tamiya brushless motors and stuff like that, and a 1800 mega amp battery, which is actually quite good, and hopefully it's going to last me today because it's the only one I've brought. The only things I've done: upgraded the bearings to metal bearings because they're better, less brittle than the plastic ones, and I've put new springs on. You'll see they're blue and they're better, although I didn't go for the proper Tamiya ones because they're ludicrously expensive. So I went for some Chinese ones which are just as good, so I can recommend that. They're on eBay for about 18 quid or something for a set 4. Here it is. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut, and I'm going to go to Daniel of the future, who's going to do some voiceovers over some pictures of the build, and you get to see what it was like to build in stages, because I think that's interesting, isn't it? I hope. Thank you, Daniel of the past. As promised, I'm going to do what it was like to build. So there's the actual box, then we move on to me being a bit of a maniac and laying all of the parts on the floor, and then obviously laying out on the table because being organised is key. This is the motor casing, ready for the motor to go in. The chassis underway, shocks being fitted. It's all very nice. The build is fairly straightforward, actually. The electrics going on, as you can see. Another view there of the electrics, all on nicely. Looks a lot dirtier now, I can promise that. and the wheels. This was last summer, so it's nice and sunny. The body, later on in the year, because we kind of forgot. The body then finished, really quite good-ish. And then the stickers, that is what it looks like. There's the rear view, and then there's the side view, and then a view of the chassis with the body, and then another view looking through the window, which I quite like. They're not tinted, and of course, the VW camper it is based on. Just a little add-on, this is the controller I'm going to be using today. It's a TechniDrive digital proportional radio control system. It's ACOMS again. God, ACOMS must be popular. My dad has a load of bits and they're all ACOMS because he did Tamiya as well when he was a teenager. But this is it. Obviously I'm going to extend the aerial and hopefully it's going to do me proud and the little camper is not going to go out of range and fly into a tree. That wouldn't be good. Anyway, what you really want to see and what I want to do is it being driven because it's epic. Rear wheel drive, a lot of power. It's tiny, okay? VW campervan's rear ones don't have 10 times the power, so it's probably not very comparable, but yeah, it's epic, really epic. Let's go for a drive. I'm wasting time now. The road I'm on today is actually a bit rough. It's rough terrain, which is not very good because it's not a Tamiya lunchbox or anything, so, you know, it's low ground clearance. I'm not even doing full throttle at the moment. That's full throttle. Turn it around, get it back in shot. I'm tempted to go just around the corner where it's a bit flatter. Doesn't like bumps, as I once learned. I hit a bump, went into a curb, and the suspension arm, I think it was, snapped off. So I had to get the sprue that had that part on and fit it. So that wasn't very good. And it was heartbreaking because it was on the road for about a week. Put it into a curb. But I suppose that's the learning point for all Tamiya enthusiasts. Now I've still got my chest mic connected. I'm actually tempted to disconnect it so you get the full sound of this at full pelt because it is pretty incredible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the camera just around the corner where there's some flat tarmac because this just isn't up to it really. It actually struggles to get any traction on this surface because it's quite gravelly. It's not up to it. But if I put it up to the mic, it does sound amazing, but you're not getting the full experience because I'm on this horrible terrain. So enough talking about that. I'm going to go set up the camera just around the corner. So there we go, we're on a bit of smoother terrain. It's quite icy, which is interesting. So it just skids about. It's actually not responding. I think something's switched off, which is not great because nothing is happening as I speak. So I'm going to have to sort that out, aren't I? So there we go, after some tinkering with battery connectors, which must be a bit loose, it's now back working again. No, it isn't, it's just conked out. I'm actually wondering if it's the battery itself that's just letting me down. Bear with again. Right, I've just taken the shell off and disconnected the battery, put it back in, gave everything a bit of a wiggle. So fingers crossed, it's now going to work without conking out. I promise these Tamiya models are good. I mean, just look, it's icy there. Whee! So much fun. If it was a smoother terrain, I'd probably push it a bit more, but I don't want to risk absolutely wrecking it. I mean, that's not even full speed. So quick. Demonstrated there, it's just conked out. Oh, there we go, it's working again. Whee, it's off. Oh no, it's just conked out. Oh no, it's working again. It's conked out. I think I've got a bit of a dead battery that's maybe just being a bit temperamental. And this is when it just reverses, mind of its own, into the main road. Luckily, it might hit a tree. But anyway, this is not really going to plan, is it, really? Which is a shame, but that wasn't the plan. But yeah, I'm going to have to sort it out again. Chances are I might have to go home, charge the battery and come back and film it another time. But I don't know, I'm going to try not to give up. Yeah, it's quite clearly the battery connector, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I mean, when I take it home, I might give it all a massive wiggle and a shake and a smack. And hopefully, it's not going to be a long-term problem. But I've wedged the steering connector underneath the steering servo, so hopefully it's not going to wiggle about and disconnect. Because that's what's been happening. The battery's been cutting out and then reconnecting, and it's not been good. But oh well, it's back in business into a massive pothole, which is far from ideal because, you know, this isn't an off-roader. Now, I must point out, I'm actually, massive power slide, I'm actually building another one of these Tamiya models, not a camper van. I'm building an M-05 chassis, long body, Toyota Yaris GR. So that's going to be front wheel drive. And when it's built, shouldn't be long, it's just the electrics to go. I will do the same as I've done with this, and I'll film a YouTube video on it. That's what I'll do. I've actually just crashed it into some bags, which is not good. I'm not up to this, am I, today? The Tamiya model and myself. We're just letting each other down here. See, I've got a wired microphone, so I'm trying my hardest not to, you know, take the tripod down. So I'm going to pull it by the aerial. Not advised, it's actually just come out. Oh well, not too bad. And it's disconnected again. Yeah. So there we are then, my Tamiya VW campervan. This video hasn't gone entirely to plan just because of the battery connector, and I think the fact it's so wet, the floor is icy, it's wet, it's probably got some water in the electrics and it's just gone, no, this could end badly, and cut it off. So don't blame it really. You get the gist. These Tamiya models are amazing. And this one was about £120, everything together a bit more, maybe 130, 140. That is superb value. If you think a Lego Technic model is maybe about the same, Land Rover Defender Lego Technic is actually more money. And then once you've built it, it's an ornament. And as Johnny Smith and Richard Porter would say, it looks like a Category D car anyway, so what's the point? These are roughly the same price, and you can actually drive them. That's why I love Tamiya so much. There is more Tamiya content coming up. As I said, I'm currently building a Toyota Yaris GR Gazoo Racing. So once that's built, I'll come to the same spot and I'll film a video on that as well. So, thank you ever so much for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. The subscriber count has gone up quite mad actually this past few weeks, so I thank you all for subscribing and for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, maybe comment down your Tamiya memories from back in the day, or comment your current Tamiya build. And show me as well. You can follow me on social media, Instagram and Twitter, at DanielCarzo5, so you can show me your builds or current build over on there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video. Goodbye. Yes. Starting to rain. Bugger. So I'm just making my way back. Tripod in hand, rucksack with the model in, and everything. And I was having a conversation with a guy. He pointed at my model, and he said, "I used to have one of those." So we were chatting about it, and it was a 1963 split screen with a 66 Beetle engine in it, which was nice. And then he was saying how he builds model trains, steam locomotives, and like Hornby and stuff like that. It just shows, doesn't it, modelling even in 2021, not like Kim Kardashian or anything, modelling as in building models, still around today. It's just nice.